Hello friends, in this video we will solve one problem based on SFG, that is we are going to apply Mason's-Gain formula in order to get the transfer function. Let us begin. So look at the given SFG. They are asking you the closed loop transfer function, that is nothing but C of S upon R of S. So before we move to a closed loop transfer function formula using Mason's-Gain formula, we will first of all see to it how many forward paths are there, how many loops are there, how many two non-touching loops, and how many three non-touching loops does exist. Let us see. So here the first forward path I can go for this, that is G1, G2, G3, G4. G1, G2, G3, G4. Look at the second forward path. As you can see, from R of S you have to move to C of S, but I can follow this path also. So with gain G5 I can reach from R of S to G of S. So second forward path is having gain as G5. So since there are only two forward paths, I would say total number of forward paths are equal to 2. So I got the value of K. If you remember, and if you have seen the Mason's-Gain formula, the upper limit of that summation in the numerator was K. So let me just remind you what was the formula for transfer function. So transfer function in general given as summation I is changed from 1 to K. What we have in numerator term as Ti multiplied by delta I whole divided by delta. Is that right? And since K value is equal to 2, upper limit it's simply 2. So I is changed from 1 to 2 only. So the overall transfer function now I can say simply T1 delta 1 plus T2 delta 2 whole divided by delta. So this is our transfer function. And of course, if I want to find a transfer function, I should know what is T1, which I already know here. I should know the value of T2. Value of T2 is known to me. Now, the question mark is to find delta 1, delta 2, and what? Delta. But if you remember the formula for delta, you required loops for that. So let us go on finding loops now. So in this case, I would say loop number 1 is minus H1. That is nothing but a self loop. Loop number 2, I can say minus G3 times H2. So I'm saying this is loop number 2. And loop number 3 is G4 into H3 with negative sign. So loop 3 is simply minus G4 H3. Is that right? So we got 3 loops. Out of 3 loops, L1 is a self loop. Again, there is no need to really differentiate between a self loop and a normal loop. So only for your knowledge I'm telling you. And there is no other loop possible also. So number of forward paths are 2. Number of loops are equal to 3. Let us calculate delta now. So the formula of delta says delta is equal to 1. Then we say minus summation of all individual loops or all individual loop gain, in fact. Then plus we do summation of all two non-touching loop gains minus summation of all three non-touching loop gains, and this formula is never ending, as I said. Am I right? So in this case I would write delta is equal to 1 minus summation of all loop gains. Then I would say L1 plus L2 plus L3, because we got only 3 loops. Am I right? Plus, let me remind you what was L1. L1 was minus H1. You can just refer the diagram and you can see where minus H1 is. It is a self loop. L2, as you can see, it is minus G3 times H2. L3, if you see, it is minus G4 times H3. So these are the 3 loops. Now, without using a node concept, we can still figure out which are the 2 non-touching loops. Am I right? If you refer L1 and L2, let me just mark in the diagram. So within this SFG, Let me say this is L1, this is L2, and this is L3. So now it is quite visible that L1 and L2 are non-touching, as well as L1, L3 are two non-touching loops. So I can say L1, L2 and L1, L3 are pair for two non-touching loops. Whereas since we got only three loops, that is L1, L2 and L3, there is no question of getting three non-touching loops because L2 and L3 are already touching each other. So I would say, therefore, there is no three non-touching loops. Fine. Since there are no three non-touching loops, I would say this term will not come while calculation for delta. So delta would be this much. I hope you got the meaning of delta. So the first bracket we have already seen, that is summation of all loop gains. Then we have summation of all two non-touching loop gains. Since we have only two pairs of L1, L2 and L1, L3, what I'll write in the bracket as L1, L2 plus L1, L3. Am I right? So now you have to only substitute the values of L1 and L2 or L3, whatever present in the delta, and you have to write final delta, and that's the denominator of your transfer function. So let us write the final delta now. Delta is equal to 1 minus, then it is L1 plus L2 plus L3. What is L1? L1 is minus H1, but because of the negative sign, it will become plus H1. Plus, why plus? Because it is L1 plus L2, but since L2 gain is negative, negative will again become positive. It will be G3 times H2 plus G4 times H3. I hope you got my point. Then according to the formula, we have plus here, so I'm writing plus. Now it is a product of L1, L2. See carefully, L1 is negative, L2 is negative, negative will again become positive. So it is L1, L2 product, which would be G3 times H1, H2 plus, finally we have to write only L1, L3 product. So L1 is also negative, L3 is also negative. So product of negative gains will become positive. Finally it would be G4 times H1, H3. And this is your final delta. Am I right? So let me write everything that we have so far. So we have two loops, that is T1, T2. So T1 is equal to G1, G2, G3, G4. Then we have second forward path at simply G5. Then we had three loops, L1, L2, L3. So we had total three loops. I would say we had two forward paths. We have three loops, and then we have two non-touching loops, or I would say two pair of two non-touching loops, that is L1, L2 and L1, L3 are set of two non-touching loops. Am I right? And we had formula for transfer function equal to T1 delta 1 plus T2 delta 2 whole divided by delta. And let me remind you, what was our delta? Our delta was 1 minus L1 plus L2 plus L3 plus L1 L2 plus L1 L3. Of course, we have already substituted the values of L1, L2 and L3 and we got a final delta, but for some reason I have written those in terms of L1, L2 only. Let me tell you what is the reason. The reason is to calculate delta 1 and delta 2. If you remember, delta 1 is, I would say, same as delta. Only thing is you have to remove those loops which are touching the first forward path. Am I right? I repeat, delta 1 is nothing but same as delta except those loops which touches forward path number 1. Forward path number 1 means T1. Why T1? Because the number for delta is 1. So I'm talking about forward path number 1. So I have to remove all those loops from the delta which are touching T1. If you look at T1, it is G1, G2, G3, G4, and it touches all the nodes. Am I right? It is touching all the nodes. If it is touching all the nodes are already covered in T1 only. Therefore, what I'll do is I'll look at delta. Look at G1, G2, G3, G4. Can I say that L1 I need to remove because G1, G2, G3, G4 is touching all the nodes. So I have to remove L1 from delta because it is touching T1. L2 is also touching T1. L3 is also touching T1. It means this L1, L2 has gone, L1, L3 has gone, everything has gone. As you can see, what is left in delta, only 1. So I would say delta 1 is simply 1. I hope you understood that. It means if all the loops are removed, then at least the delta value will be always equal to 1. So I got the value of delta 1. Please remember, delta 1 is nothing but derived from delta only. Only thing is you have to remove those loops which are touching to that particular forward path. For example, now if I'm talking about delta 2, then what delta 2 is? Delta 2 is again same as delta except those loops which are touching T2. T2 means a second forward path. So now let's get back to the diagram here. Here. Look at the second forward path. The second forward path was simply G5. Let me remind you, T2 was equal to G5. Now, if I'm talking about G5, then as you can see, we are starting from this R of S. Then we are going through this G5 and then we are going to C of S. Am I right? And during this, L2 is the only loop which is non-touching. Am I right? As you can see, since this node is touched, I would have to cancel L3. I hope you understood that. Also, as you can see, L1 remains untouched. So I'm going to select L1 as well as L2. So it means I have to remove only L3 from delta. I hope you understood this. Look at forward path number 2 once again. See, this is nothing but a forward path number 2. So you have to remove those loops which are touching to this forward path. So as you can see, the path which is marked in red color, it is not touching L1. So L1 I'm going to consider in delta. L2 also I'm going to consider in delta. But L3, as you can see, it is getting touched at this node. So I have to only cancel L3. Rest of the loops will get considered in calculation of that respective delta 2. It means delta 2, we will consider L1 also, we will consider L2 also, but we are not going to consider L3. I hope you understood that. So let me just write it, 1 minus L1 plus L2 plus L3, right? Okay, L3 we have to cancel. So let me just rough L3 here. Plus, since I have to consider only L1, L2, I'll go for a first term. And since I don't have to consider L3, so I'm going to cancel out this term. So what I'll have over here is L1, L2. So this is nothing but the value of delta 2. Let me just substitute the value of all L1 and L2 together. 1, L1 and L2 are individually negative, but since we have got negative sign out, it will become positive. So it is 1 plus the value of L1 was H1 plus value of L2 was G3H2 plus value of L1, L2, that is nothing but a product of L1 and L2 together will give you G3 H1 H2, and this is nothing but the value for delta 2. So now we have value of delta 1, we have the value of delta 2, we have the value of delta. Let us substitute all of them and let's get the final answer. So for this figure, let me write my transfer function equal to C of S upon R of S, which is equal to T1 delta 1 plus T2 delta 2 whole divided by delta. So you can copy everything from the previous slide. So value of T1 was G1, G2, G3, G4 multiplied by delta 1 value was 1. Then the value of T2 was simply G5. It gets multiplied with delta 2 that we have already calculated in the last slide, that is 1 plus H1 plus G3H2 plus G3 H1 H2 whole divided by the bigger delta that we had, that is 1 plus H1 plus G3H2 plus G4H3 plus G3H1H2 plus G4H1H3. So this is how do we calculate transfer function. So you might be thinking how to save the time. Of course, like a block diagram reduction, we have a shortcut method even applicable for SFG. So I'll take the same sum in the next video and I'll tell you how to solve it using a shortcut. So I promise you that I'll give you a shortcut in a way that you are able to solve this SFG problem within 2 minutes and definitely not more than that. So technically speaking, you have to understand this as a traditional method also, because you got other competitive exams where you have to solve the problem or where you have to give subjective paper. There you should understand all those steps also. So it is equally important to understand in a traditional approach also. Yes, from GATE point of view, I'll give you shortcuts in the next video lecture. Thank you.